Now, Mario Kart can be a difficult game, that's for sure, and some of the tracks that Mario Kart has shown us over the years has really proven that fact. Today we're going to go over the top 10 hardest courses in all of Mario Kart's history. To start off our list, we're going to hit up Banshee Boardwalk. This course has many twists and turns, with this specific turn inside the building being a really challenging one, causing most new players to fall off helplessly and get forced to respawn on the track by Lakitu. Its creepy environment also adds to the difficulty, making you a little anxious when you're driving around it as a kid, so I can definitely see why this would be one of the more difficult tracks for people to actually get a hold of. Number 9, I have Mushroom Gorge. This one's a personal opinion one. I think that Mushroom Gorge is a difficult track. If you miss the mushrooms or you angle yourself incorrectly in these mushrooms, then you are set for failure. You'll go barreling into a chasm and have to take a gnarly respawn, which can be unfortunate in a live setting. So that's why this course is up here. And it's not like there's only one section where you have to be careful. It's pretty much the whole track you gotta be wary of. Immediately as you start, there's a mushroom to bounce off. After that, you get 3 consecutive mushrooms followed by a labyrinth, and nailing this each time for 3 laps can be difficult, especially when you're just starting out at Mario Kart. Next we have Wario's Gold Mine, a course that stays stagnant the whole race. Nothing much changes throughout the laps, but remains difficult nonetheless the whole time. With tight winding turns and minecarts as obstacles, you can understand that this course could be a little difficult. It's not your standard run-of-the-mill open race where you don't have to worry about bumping into people. It's a very hectic, very tight, and very perspective warping course. One that fits a little bit better in Mario Kart 8, but originates from Mario Kart Wii. Up next we have Grumble Volcano. Now this is a course that on the first lap is not too difficult at all. Very wide, not too tight of turns, a few moving platforms, but not too bad. But come the second and third lap, platforms start to disappear, and more enemies start to spawn in. Fireballs, living and not, start attacking you, and just berating the course at every turn. And with that added obstacle, it makes turning even harder, despite them being narrowed already by the actual earthquake. This course is a tough one, and that's why it's going on the list. Now up next we have Bowser's Castle N64, another one that's not too difficult in the first few laps, but once you get going, the speed starts to pick up. The thwomp will get quicker when it goes down to hit ya, the lava will start to sprout after you jump the spiral, and some of these turns can be very tight and in a crowded setting could lead you to fall right into the lava. With so many obstacles and so many different challenges, you could probably understand why this one makes it in our number 7 spot. Now we have a candidate from GameCube's Mario Kart. Mario Kart Double Dash's DK Mountain. Now the easy part of this course is getting to the cannon. The hard part is avoiding everything else. After you first get off, it's still easy pickings as you run down the side of the mountain, but once you make your first giant left-hand turn, you'll realize there's an avalanche barreling towards you that you have to dodge now. Very tight turns also make this course difficult, leading to a giant chasm that if you're skilled enough you can skip, but most players will fall victim to. And to finish it off, a swaying drawbridge that just is not easy to hit a straight line on if you're trying to wheelie, especially in Mario Kart Wii. And though it's a legendary course, it is one of the harder Mario Kart courses. Taking up our number 4 slot is respectable Rainbow Road from Super Mario Kart Advance. Just a bird's eye view of this track alone should show you the difficulty of it, but let's describe it for you. Many twists and turns that leave little room for error. CPUs can easily slip by if you're not careful enough as well, and trying to beat this after a long GP in 150 is a challenge to say the least. And footage of the speed run does not make me feel any better about myself. Watching these guys cruise through it, bouncing off curbs into high altitude aerials, just to skip large portions of the track, it makes me feel inferior knowing I can't even beat this course normally without error. And with a lot of people probably feeling the same way, that's why it's going at number 4. Now number 3, let me explain. Neo Bowser's City for Mario Kart 7. This course is a rough one because you have to be very careful on some of these turns. The programmers of the game actually installed a slip mechanic on this course specifically for the rain areas, so on the windy part of the track it becomes much harder. Similar to an ice level, but with much more expectation for you. This course is very difficult to traverse in a normal setting, and since it never stops raining in Neo Bowser City, you're never going to be able to get that perfect drift turn. Now our number 2 spot has stumped the youth for years, and that is Yoshi Valley for N64. Now as you grow older, this course becomes less and less difficult, but let me take you back to the first time you played this course. You start the race at Yoshi's Valley with your buddies, and you think to yourself, wow, that's an interesting looking map. What path do I take? Well, depending on what path you took, very well differentiated whether you were going to have to catch up on a big lead or if you actually might pull off a first place in this race. With several different options, it was even hard for the computer of the game to recognize who was in first and who was in last, so you'll see that the game only really registers it towards the end of the track, except for Mario Kart 8 since we're now advanced enough to be able to recognize it. But even with the optimal path in this course, it still requires a very tight bridge maneuver. If you can perfectly pass this plank, then you're in for a good first place run, but if you fall off, that's lost time. You're gonna get respawned in a punishing area, as well as the big egg at the end that no matter what you'll have to face off with, it can add to the difficulty as well, so that's why it's going in the number 2 position. And our number 1 hardest Mario Kart track, Rainbow Road from Mario Kart Wii. Just to start off right on the bat, shortcuts are tough on this track. I don't even want to bring up the ultra shortcut, but I mean, it is pretty impressive. But even just simple shortcuts across these 2 gaps right in the middle here, or even simply this track skip can be a little difficult, as well as the course being very tight, very windy, having all the elements that our previous tracks had. This course is extremely difficult. Boost panels spread out, urging you to take just to keep up with the pack, while also requiring you to have precise movements, is what really makes this track intense. There is saving grace when it comes to the rainbow cannon, but other than that, this track is very unforgiving, and in my opinion, one of the hardest Mario Kart tracks of all time. With so many places to fall off, it is not welcoming for new players whatsoever, and that's why it's tucked in the last cup of the games. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching this. I'm hoping you enjoyed the video. I guess you might have if you made it this far to the video, but other than that, I will see you guys in the next video, and peace!